Are we ready for AI umpiring in the game of baseball?
We have it. It is in the game of baseball. It's at the professional level. It's at the minor league level. And it's also in spring training. So not full AI umpires, but they have a challenge system that uses a robot ump, right? So they draw a strike zone. The human umpire makes the call, tap your helmet, like, nah, that was a strike. Or excuse me, not if you're that batter, nah, that was a ball.
Why
They
can't we
check.
just have a series of light bulbs?
What do you mean?
Why do we need to wait for your ass to question the call, Mr. Humanness? Why can't we just have 3 light bulbs, right? That's condition A, B, C. The pitch comes, light bulb comes on. I swing anyway or I don't swing, but right after the pitch I know one of the 3 light bulbs came on. Why do I need a human element on that part of the call?
AA and AAA baseball, they have implemented and will do entire series where the umpire behind the plate is not calling balls and strikes. So it has been used, piloted at the professional level. They're playing games with, for example, the umpire behind the plate not calling balls and strikes.
Okay.
You go to your local game and you just might see robot ump for balls and strikes. Now, you've got a tag play at the plate. The infield fly rule needs to be called, like whatever. There's a lot that the ump still needs to do. But in terms of balls and strikes, yeah, they take it out of his hands.
The tech and the gatekeepers are dragging their feet just for you. These cats are acting like they can't do it without you right now just for your sake. The example I'm going to give is Hawkeye, which is Sony's partnership where all the NFL games are being played. All the cameras are Sony cameras. Hawkeye is the software that's monitoring all the cameras, and they do complete motion capture without any wearables on every single player in real time, and it's incredible. So if they can do that for all the players on both football teams, the refs, and capture the stands, and do instant overlay of IP in real time, in time for broadcast, they can definitely call these damn games. They dragging their feet for the sake of, like, we don't want to be sued by the umpires union. We don't want the fans to go ape shit. But the tech is here. It can be done right now. Yesterday, last week.
I think I'd be surprised if baseball went away from having umpires, right?
Of
just
course.
Completely did away with them, just because there are a lot of different scenarios that, you would just prefer for a human to handle. Now, if you're talking about specifically, is this call right or wrong? Did this person get in on this slide? Was the tag applied before they put their hand there? You could absolutely have, you could have robots doing that. In other cases,
robots is such a weird word to choose, but yes.
Right. And I say that in air quotes and tongue in cheek, because that's what we say. The robots are coming, right? So when they say robot umpires, right, it's not like Rosie is behind the plate like, ding, 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 that was a strike, right? Little ear joints lighten up. Of course, it's just like an earbud in the umpire's ear.
Right.
Strike, ball, right? So, yeah. But there are things that you would rather have a human on there doing, right? Here's an example. One manager is arguing and doesn't like, a call that was made, or doesn't like.
Who's he going to bump his chest against? Who's he going to bump his chest against?
Hold on. The pitcher throws a pitch and it looks like it's coming at a batter, right? The umpire makes the decision. Is this intentional or not? I want humans to be making that decision, because the human's going to say, oh yeah, last time the Tigers and the Guardians played, there was this beef, the bench is cleared. And 100%. In fact, it was Jose Ramirez and Tarek Skubal. So the umpire will then be able.
Intent, I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Intent, 100%. But data is different. And so I'm just saying we can easily start to change the job. Your job is not to call strikes and balls anymore. That's just dumb. Right? If the fans want it equally and accurately called across the field, that's the easiest entry point in sports to me.
And that's the first one that's going away. Like I said, players are like, okay. So they just adjust. I think everything that you're saying is where baseball, in particular, as a baseball fan, I think that's where baseball is going to go. I think it'll go to eliminating the Tigers fan. They have a game pitched by Armando Galarraga, who just happened to have the best pitching day that any dude could have on that day, right? Pretty good pitcher overall. This dude threw bottom of the ninth, perfect game, has not walked a batter, He has not given up a hit. A perfect game. He is one pitch away. He throws the last pitch. It's an easy grounder. The fans are going nuts. They throw it over to first base. Miguel Cabrera catches the ball. Everybody's like, oh, it was a perfect game. And the umpire goes, safe.
Right.
And everybody goes, oh my God. Yeah. So it is now, that story is interesting. It is one of the stories in Cooperstown, where the Hall of Fame is for baseball. So they tell the story and they call it the imperfect game because the umpire, and I think it was Jim Joyce, blew it. And so now there's this whole lore behind it. He wrote a book. Him and Armando Galarraga, they talked, they became friends. Because as an umpire, you want to be a part of that history. I called a perfect game. I was part of that crew. That's the pinnacle for you as an umpire, right? Nobody's going to be like, hey, man, you called all those balls and strikes really well. It's like, nah, you were there. You were, you helped keep the perfect game intact. You made all the right calls. And so this dude, Jim Joyce, man, he was just bawling. Man, I can't believe I blew that call. I messed up this piece of baseball history, so umpire to that point, umpires want to get it right. They pride themselves on getting it right. They have not pushed back, like you said, umpire union and stuff. They haven't really pushed back because they're always going to have some sort of job. Baseball will keep them, as part of the process. And there's always going to be, like you said, intent. All of those things, and there's so much in baseball with intent.